This weekend, the Dallas Cowboys looking to get back on track Sunday night in a primetime slot against the 49ers. So the team will be on the road in San Francisco. And joining us now with a preview, Locked On Cowboys podcast host, Landon McCool. Welcome back. Good to see you. Let's hope this week is better.
Yeah, certainly would love to be on better topics next week when we talk about the Cowboys.
I agree. So how confident are you in the team going against the 49ers on the road?
Man, I don't know. Look, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I don't know how you feel confident about this game with the way the Cowboys have played recently, the vibes around the team, the history between these two teams these last few years. I think that both of these teams are coming into this game beat up, and both of them are actually at crossroads in their seasons. I mean, that's the thing that's a little bit surprising about this matchup, is that San Francisco is kind of coming into this limping as well. They've just lost their star wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk. They've lost several key members of their defense. Their defense hasn't quite been as vital as it has been in previous seasons. So it's not like San Francisco is coming into this matchup, riding high. They are desperate for a win as well. And honestly, if the Cowboys can find a way to pull this out, they could potentially bury a really big rival early, or at least midway through the season.
We've talked about this before, but with the game on prime time, does that impact Daks' confidence at all going into the game?
I think that's a good question. I think it's a fair question. I don't know if it's a prime time game issue. I think it's a big game thing, right? Where Dak, and it's not that I think Dak gets nervous or it's too big for him. I think if anything, it's Dak senses that he has to kind of put a little bit more on his shoulders and pick up the slack a little bit. And especially now on a team that's so young, that's got, it's really just growing into its own. Dak is the guy that everyone is looking to make the big plays. Dak and CD obviously on the offense. So I think it's more of an issue of a lot is being put on Dak. He's pressing, and sometimes when you press, things start to spiral a little bit. And I think that's happened in a couple of these games this season.
Well, let's talk about the injury outlook. This is something that always has people concerned going into it. Who's healthy, who's not?
Well, lots of people are unhealthy, I can tell you that. I mean, we're still haven't seen Micah Parsons practice so far this week. That was something that we were looking for. Deron Bland, I don't know if Deron Bland had a setback or, it felt like he was a full participant before the bye, but he hasn't practiced even once this week. So I don't know if he's playing. I think Kalen Carson, who's been a full participant so far this week in both practices, who's recovering from a shoulder situation. Hopefully he will be back, and that'll give you a little bit of depth in the defensive backroom that you didn't have previously. But you are still dealing with a bunch of different injuries, especially on the defensive side. You hope that you're getting a little bit healthier on the offensive side. You're likely to see Tyler Guyton back at left tackle. I think Brandon Cooks might be another week away, but he's making his way back. But San Francisco's dealing with similar situations. Like I said, they've got injuries all up and down their defensive line and the wide receivers as well. So it's not like they're not in a similar situation coming into this week.
Even though they've been on a bye week, we were joking on Daybreak this morning that the Cowboys have still been in the news. Do you think any of Jerry's comments are going to impact the way McCarthy approaches this game?
I don't. I mean, I think if anything, I'm of the belief that Jerry is, the leader of the three-ring circus. He knows what he's doing. And if anything, I think Jerry's comments may have been sort of a shield for his team that is not playing well. Now everyone's talking about Jerry's outrageous comments instead of the outrageously bad football that's being played on the field. So I'm hoping that McCarthy has learned at this point exactly what the deal is playing football in Dallas. And he's going to take advantage of this kind of opportunity that Jerry has provided to shield him from criticism and try to get this team turned around so that the criticism will just go away. Okay,
score prediction before we go.
I have a hard time picking the Cowboys right now until we see a little bit better play from them. And frankly, against a team that has traditionally beat up on them quite a bit, even with all the injuries and everything, I need to see that this Dallas Cowboys team can stop somebody on the ground. So I'm going to pick San Francisco 27-24. I just think it's a tough matchup for the team, even if they were playing well. And right now, they just are not playing well. If they could win, they would really turn around this season. It could be a great launching point for a new season in the back half. but I have to see something before I'm going to feel comfortable predicting that sort of thing.
Yeah, that would make for a good TV movie, right? A big turnaround like that.
Absolutely. Well, it happened last year. It happened last year with the Cowboys. Maybe it can happen again.
Good point. Hey, good to see you, Landon. We'll see you back here next week, and you can watch Landon with the new episodes of Locked On Cowboys every day. You can watch wherever you get your podcast. And today on our streaming app, WFAA Plus, a new episode set to stream at 1 o'clock this afternoon. You can get the app free on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. Hey.